bill that can pass muster with Republicans in both chambers. Won't be easy. Who better to talk about that than, you guessed it, Manu Raju, who is on Capitol Hill. Manu, how many hours straight have you been there?
Quite a few. It's been a long week. But Dana, there are long hours and weeks ahead in the United States Senate because it is just going to get harder and harder in order to get this to President Trump's desk, in large part because Republican senators say they have their own demands. They plan to change this bill in a whole variety of ways. Some of them want to go deeper in terms of cutting spending. This bill would add roughly $3.8 trillion to the national deficit over the next several years, according to the Congressional Budget Office. Some of them want to cut spending deeper to try to offset some of the deficit increases. Others are concerned about how it deals with some of those cuts. They believe that the Medicaid work requirements, the way that it is being implemented under this proposal, may need to be changed in some way. Others believe that how it would phase out green energy tax breaks also need to be modified. And some have specific individual issues that they want to get changed here. So the question will be, if they were able to get that through the Senate, which is a narrow Republican majority, will the House Republicans ultimately accept it and send it to President Trump's desk? That is an issue for the weeks ahead. Now, I caught up with some senators this morning about some of the warnings that have been coming from the far right of the House Republican Conference. The House Freedom Conference warning Senate Republicans not to deviate too much from the spending cuts they got into this legislation. I asked Senator Lindsey Graham about that warning from the hardline House Republicans.
Some of the Freedom Caucus members are warning you guys not to water down any of their cuts. What do you say to them?
You had your chance. There's some of these cuts are not real. And we're talking about over a decade. You know, if you do $1.5 trillion, that's like 1.5%. So let's don't get high on our horse here that we've somehow made some major advancement of reducing spending, because we didn't.
So the Senate Majority Leader John Thune will have some major decisions to make in the days ahead. One of the things that they'll have to consider is how to deal with the increase of the national debt limit. That is also part of this bill. There is a debt default that is looming as soon as this summer, potentially by the August recess, if they do not act on that now. But there are several members in the Senate Republican Conference who are warning that they will vote against this plan if that debt limit increase is included in there. One of them is Senator Rand Paul, who says that he's a no if that's in there. Senator Ron Johnson, another one who's warning that he could vote against this. And I caught up with Senator Rick Scott of Florida this morning, too. And he indicated to me, Dana, that he is simply not there yet. He said that he believes there need to be deeper spending cuts, so they don't need to raise the national debt limit as part of this bill. So therein lies some of the challenges that the leaders have to get this to the president's desk. But time will be ticking in the United States Senate if they can actually get it done. Dana?
Yeah, no question. Thank you so much for that, Manu. I hope you can catch a cat nap somewhere on the marble floor. Now, President Trump, of course, calls it a big, beautiful bill.